them in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same 1%? Trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome, everybody, to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How the heck is everybody tonight on this Tuesday, November 17th of the horrible year that has been 2020? Man, oh man, oh man. What a day, what a year, what a week. You know, it's just one of those things that just, just keeps going, fun and more fun, and then blows up in your face. But again, as I always say every night, I talk about it a little bit, but I don't like talking about it. So we're not here to talk about that. Tonight, we got a double-header interview. First, we got an actor, producer, director, model, the whole 9 yards. And then I got a punk rock band coming on after that. It's just going to be a fun night of entertainment. So strap your boots on, strap your socks on, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. That's all I got to say about that. But first, my first guest. His name is Anis I cannot say it. I said it before. Maknojia. He's an actor, producer. He's also, a model that's worked with Don Julio, Giorgio Armani, Mercedes-Benz, and others. Got a new movie getting ready to come out called Jacked, and a bunch of other stuff going him. So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get him on here and just get started, because that's what we're all about here. It's fun. You don't want to hear me talking. That's not what you came here for. I mean, I'm pretty good looking, but, that's about it. But either way, here is our friend tonight. Anis, how are you going? Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hey, Derek, thank you for having me.
No problem, man. I'm sorry I butchered the last name again, man. I was like, oh, man. But, it happens. So how's everything going for you?
Everything's great, man. Just like you mentioned, the film Jack, we're now doing the post-production on it. Currently, I'm in LA right now, just moving locations, residence. That's about it, man. Nothing much going on. The post-production team's handling it. I got full faith in them, full trust in them, and the way that they're doing it. I don't think I have to be worried about it.
So, I mean, your career, while short in the acting world, has been, it's been going on for about, 20 years with other things as well. So, I mean, why don't you kind of start with where you kind of started from and how you got to where you are today, and, what made you decide to kind of flip to the acting scene?
Okay, well, how do we go back? 20 years. I was, 20? Yeah, I actually did go to school, University of Houston, went there at the same time. My family had their own business, which I always, I admired. I actually was something that I was like, hey, I could totally do this. I can be part of this. And just like going to school, you just kind of are doing it because, I don't know, man, I just felt like I had to do it, but no real purpose was felt doing it,
Mm-hmm.
Until I realized, afterwards, I was like, hey, you know what, this is not for me, So then I switched up the careers and just got into family business, which is like retail development and property development, stuff, and, creating chain of retail stores, et cetera, real business stuff. So I got into it about the age of, I guess, 21, 22. So kind of built myself up into that. And, from there, once I started getting a full handle of it, a full grip of it, it just kind of went into multiplying more and more businesses and linking them all together. And I guess the idea of filmmaking and all this photography and modeling really didn't come to me was about I would say 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. So photography is where it kind of started. You know, Instagram was actually way different than what it is right now.
Oh yeah.
It was actually fun. You know, it was actually fun. People were just passionate people on there. You know, there was not much of a political chaos happening like the way it is now. You know, before people just kind of like just did their own things, man. There was no. Now that like the whole influencing thing is kind of taken over, and Instagram is just becoming this grand marketing tool. You know, like everything has a purpose behind it, you know. But back then it was more simpler, so it was easier to use. Back then you could easily create followers and have followers, you know, where people were just more interested in overall, you know, what you're providing, this and that. Now it's just different, you know. Now it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, I guess it's lost its like its real purpose now. Now it's like just the biggest marketing tool in the world.
Yeah,
So,
I mean the same thing with Facebook. I mean it's you know, I mean, you know, Instagram is just, you know, has taken over, you know, as far as like the biggest, you know, social media platform available. But you're 100% right. I mean, it is nothing but a marketing tool. I mean,
it is, man.
It's ridiculous too. I mean, and you know, my followers are, and I can only imagine yours as well, are just so, you know, finicky and fickle with, you know, what they decide to like and not like. And then if you post one thing that they don't like, oh, you know, they're gonna unsubscribe. And it's like,
Yeah.
I can see an influx of like 500 people one day, and then you know, a reverse of the same thing the next day. It's like, what the, you know. Or I'll look back, I'm like, how did I lose 200 followers on a Saturday? What did I do? Did I not post something? It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You go back, try to think back if you said anything.
I mean, you know, for an influencer, you know, it's a full-time job aside from the other stuff you got going on. You know, I mean, I've got to spend 3 or 4 hours a day on Instagram, you know, monitoring this and watching this and then doing this to make sure that I'm having, you know, a higher engagement, to make sure that the show has a high engagement, you know, and then I got to turn around and do it all over again the next day. And it's a constant, like, it's a back and forth grind of just craziness.
Right, but ultimately, you're more passionate towards this, you know, which is good. Those 4 hours can just seem like 4 minutes, you know. When you're really driven by passion on Instagram, rather than trying to see who's up to what and who's doing what, and you know, this and that with political stuff or that, then that just kind of creates this whole different environment. Like me, I try to not be political in my Instagram. So people ask me, you know, my political opinions. I just don't. It's just something that I'm not too big on politics or whatever. I mean, this is something else since I was younger. And they say, oh, when you grow up, you're going to, politics, this. No, dude, it's just how you take things in, you know? And that's the way I focus on politics, you know? Like, you can try to change things, but at the end of the day, man, things just change on their own, you know? And you can just do what you can, you know? And that's how it is. But, yeah, but Instagram, I try to just only kind of use it as just a purpose to promote myself and, you know, what else I got going on, rather than promoting, you know, just nonsense on there.
Yeah.
You know, that most people do.
Yeah, but, and you know, the thing about it is I do try to do stuff to promote myself as well, obviously.
You have to, yeah.
You know, and that's, you know, that's the whole idea behind it. Again, it's a marketing tool. But at the same time, if I do nothing, I don't know, but again, if this applies to you, but if I do nothing but try to market myself for an entire week, I see a decline in my followers. But the moment I start posting stupid shit again, you know, whether it's a funny TikTok video I found or just a stupid meme of a joke that I created and thought of in my head, you know, it's like, oh, then people start, you know, interacting again. But if all I do is say, okay, I got this guest on today, I got this going on this week, oh, I'm doing a charity event in December, I got I got all this going on, and they're like, we don't care, screw you. The moment I post a joke or a stupid meme or a silly video, boom, they're back. And it's like, so how can I, you know, how do I utilize this properly? You know, in the whole algorithm between every single one of them, between Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you know, then, you know, throw in for me, you know, the podcast platforms. And then on top of that, YouTube, it's like none of them match at all. And it's like, how do I even manage this? And it's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna let things happen, because it's like,
right.
I've got 13,000 followers on Instagram, and my engagement's about 30 to 40%, which I'm happy with. But then
good.
then I go to my podcast. It's like 45,000 downloads a day. I can live that. But then you go to my Facebook, it's like 300 followers, and then you go to my and then you go to my YouTube, it's like, okay, I maybe get 100 150 watches a day on my YouTube. So it's like, wait a second. So you're willing to download and listen to me in the car, but you're not willing to come home and watch me on your phone or something like that. It's the whole algorithm at this point on it's too much. It's just way too much. At this point, it's just letting it. I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing and keep doing you, man, and just let things happen. I guess that's the best way to do it. And yes, I do post stupid shit, but on my stories. But that's about it. When I'm just bored. It's out of habit. It's out of habit. Like you have to post something. Like just, your mind doesn't think about it. Just come across something, like post it. But on my main wall, I don't post anything. I just kind of post like quality pictures. Like good pictures, like influencing quality photos. But on my stories, man, I'm just
I've noticed that a lot about people. Like especially some of the bigger actors and actresses and the bigger bands that I've had on my show. If like there was this one band that I had on 2 weeks ago, and the lead singer, it was just the lead singer that I had on the show, but she's also a model and everything else like that, so her page is full of nothing but, her modeling pictures and the band pictures and stuff like that. But, and I noticed again, like this a lot with everybody, but then, I'll take pictures from her, her page to create a poster or something like that to promote the show. And then it only goes in the Instagram story. It doesn't go on the actual page. So it's like, they're always so picky about what goes on the main, on the post feed, but the story feed, it's like, okay, I'll post whatever I want up there.
I actually used to be picky, but if you scroll like from present to past, you can kind of see this transformation where I'm like, just like, hey, you know what? I need to make this more about lifestyle rather than like, actually like create this environment where the audience can kind of see me, just be me, and especially with the entertainment industry, it's you have to show that, you have to show kind of the raw side of stuff, like it's not always, behind the camera and the cameraman and posing. It's not always like that. And I like to convey more of that. Like, hey, this is just, like the real me. And
exactly.
That's what I'm trying to do now.
Yeah. And that's honestly the whole idea behind my show. I don't, it's fun to talk about what projects you got coming up and, talk about that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you're going to go on maybe 10, 15 other podcasts, maybe do, another, maybe an ABC show and a radio this, and they're going to all ask you about that. That's going to be their main focus.
Redundance.
Not on my show. No, we're going to talk about it a little bit because I want to, you came here for a reason. We're going to promote your stuff. But at the same time, I want people to know who the real you is,
Yeah, we're just having a chat. Yeah.
Exactly. This is not an interview. This is a conversation.
Yeah,
Straight
just
up.
having a chat.
Yeah,
right?
Because my show is real. I've said this 105,000 times on my 120 episodes. The name of the show, Suck It, comes from mental health, to where, I'm bipolar, and for a long time, people just told me to suck it up. Well, my response to them is to suck it. So that's where the idea of the show comes from. So it's like
clever man.
I talk about mental health. I want awareness. I talk to charities. I talk real situations because, again, yeah, you might be a great actor. You might be a good-looking model. You might go do stuff for Giorgio Armani and all this other stuff. But you know what? What does that matter? Who are you? And that's what I would like to talk about, is who you are, because it makes people care about you more.
Yeah, it's more than just you kind of show them like I guess beyond the camera, like
pull back the curtain, right?
Yeah, like I'm a real person, just like everyone else is, and people that have known for me to be like that. I'm just average, I carry myself. I try to just, I don't know, man. Just see, like being born and raised in Texas and coming here, like I go back to Texas, people still think that I'm still that Texas kid, When I come to LA, people can still vibe that, hey, you're out of town, You know, I try to just kind of stay who I am, you know, and just keep it that way. And business around me can evolve, but I just kind of stay who I am.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and going back to, you know, your past and your history and what led you here today, you know, you and I actually, without even realizing it, actually have very similar paths. So I've always wanted to be an entertainer. I started out in music when I was 8. Well, I started in music when I was, you know, a little kid, but really started pursuing it when I was 18 and, you know, everything else like that. But, you know, parents, family, everyone around me was like, you know what, no, you're not doing that. So, you know what, I went into retail, but I actually went into the operations side, and I spent almost 20 years in the operations side of, you know, of
same old things every day.
Oh my God.
Redundant.
Between two different, well, one grocery store chain and one massively large, world's biggest big box, you know, store, without saying the name, everybody knows what I'm talking about. You know, managing those things takes every bit of humanity out of you.
Yeah.
You know,
right?
Oh my God. I remember when I was 24, 23. My first time I ever did a Black Friday event, you know, as a department manager at Walmart. You know, I mean, it you know, absolutely just murdered me. And then, you know, spending, you know, nearly 13 years there, you know, ending as a store manager, and then going to the grocery store chain, which was on a smaller scale, but still just drags you out. You know, when I finally left the business earlier this year, I was like, you know what? I'm never going back. Because I mean, because I've always, you know, had a side hustle, whether it had been, you know, my music, whether it had been, because I was also a professional wrestler for a while until I broke my neck, and I also do stand-up comedy, and I do this obviously too. So, but then, you know, things have started taking off with this, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. But, you know, I could not wait for the day to finally drop my keys on a desk and say, I'm out.
Right. Hey, 13 years, you have a great idea.
Well, 13 years at Walmart, and then another 5 at the other grocery store chain. But whew,
you pushed yourself enough to where you'd realize, like, this is it.
Yeah, you know, so I mean, retail on the operations side, I mean, I still have nightmares, PTSD about it.
Really? You just don't go into Walmarts or anything?
That's what, you know, online grocery shopping is for now. You know, I'll do it all online and pull up and have it put in my car and leave.
Yeah, who walks in and shops around, right?
I mean,
stands in line. This stuff's you're right, man. Like, yeah, a lot of online shopping is, before when it took over, people were like, oh, no, this doesn't it's too much work involved. But no, then you realize how convenient it is, where you just go over the phone with the app, pay everything, just pull up, and they throw stuff in your bag, and you just take off.
Yeah, because I was actually, God, however many years ago, I was part of my store was actually part of the test pilot program for it out of Walmart and in Florida, and man, it was chaotic and crazy. I was like, this is never gonna work. But lo and behold, it's crazy.
Yeah, you lasted, man. Shoot, that's good, bro. And then you realized what you really wanted to do. Then.
Well, I mean, I've always known what I've wanted to do. It's just a matter of you know, getting that right support and the right backing behind me. You know, whether it been the right PR people, whether it be my right, you know, the friends and family in the business as well. You know, the right people to lean on. You
need those, man.
Oh my God, that was actually honestly the most difficult part. You know, when I, you know, first started in this, it was like, you know, hey, where do I even start? You know, I mean, it was originally just a way to start building my name up so I could start getting, you know, better comedy gigs. But then it kind of took its own life and turned into what it is today. And it's like, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world, because at the same time I get to have fun and crack jokes and do the same thing I was doing before, but I get to do it with famous people, and it's fantastic. I love it. So I mean, you know what, you know, I'm talking a lot about myself. We're talking about you.
Please, by all means. Hey, this is interesting, man. Like, yeah.
I mean, but it's like, you know, one of my key driving factors, again, is my bipolar disorder. 2 years ago this month, I had a suicide attempt, and at that point I swore to myself I was never gonna let anything get me to that point again. Between the stress of work, my dad had a stroke that month as well, and a bunch of other stuff that was going on, just really drove me to my breaking point. And after that point, I got help and started doing this and started doing that, and that's where I really started getting big into advocacy as well and all this other stuff. And it's just like, you know what, I'm not gonna come on here. I'm not gonna go do podcasting and stand-up comedy or acting like I'm getting ready to do this year as well, just for myself. Yeah, I mean, granted, yeah, it's a selfish thing because it's the thing I've always wanted to do. But you know what? I want to help people too. So might as well have a little fun while I'm helping people at the same time. Because
passion with purpose.
Oh my God, yes, it is definitely a passion with a purpose.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
The jokes I crack, sometimes they're a little edgy and a little dark, but they're really awareness jokes. And you can sit there and say, well, you're making fun of it. Nope, you're talking about it now, aren't you? Now it's in your mind. Now it's in your mouth. Now what are you going to do about it?
Subject.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bringing it up subject makes people think,
Exactly.
It's not about the delivery. It's about the processing, you could deliver.
Or the thought that it goes in your mind after the fact.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, let's go back to Jacked for a second here. So, what exactly is the plot of Jacked, and what exactly are you hoping to get out of it?
The Jack's plot is pretty much okay. Here's how it goes. I'm a tech executive, big tech firm. They're about to go very public, so they're about to be, bought out by this other giant. So it's a startup business that I started off with. I play as Bruce, 3 of my other friends in there. So we all went to Ivy League together, and we came together and built this company. And now we're valued so much that other companies want to come and buy us. So that's the plot of it. So I'm a business executive, I'm tech, but at the same time, I guess, I just kill prostitutes at night. That's the basic way to put it. I'm messed up in the head, so I'm having this dual personality where I'm being normal, but then Jack comes in. So Bruce turns into Jack, and Jack is like an alter ego. But it's something. So the way this film we made it was during the day you get to see Bruce. It could be anyone. It could be it could be like Zuckerberg. Like someone you would never. It's just a normal person. You would just think, oh, he's just rich and tech money, whatever. But at night he does all that. So at night it would be a different character of Jack. So we're kind of alternating between the two in the film. But that's kind of the gist of it, I'm going to be sending it to some proper places. Hopefully we get something bigger out of this. And but at the same time, man, it was just passion and creativity, not just from my end, but from everyone else that was involved. And it was fun to do. It was fun to do, though. It was just different, playing 2 different characters in one. I've never done that.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like a more modern version of American Psycho.
Exactly. I was waiting for you to say that. Yes, that's one of my favorite films. It was something that I don't know, man. It was just in me. I'm like, dude, I guess we can kind of just, approach it in a different direction, different way. And I like to do the ethnic diverse thing in this too. So, hey, Bruce, let's make him round.
Yeah.
Let's change it all up. Let's just do a different approach and get everyone involved and see what we come up with.
Yeah. Beautiful things about that movie was the fact that nobody could believe that he did it, and the ending on that movie was
it was open.
It was like, did he do it? Did he really not do it? Was it all in his head? What did they think? What this? It's it's different. It's a good. It's still to this day has never been answered.
Yeah, because this movie kind of came out during the time we were learning more about mental disabilities. So I think my perspective is that he was just probably screwed up in the head because he's drawing images and he's cutting stuff up. He's processing it all in his mind. So whatever his alter ego is doing, he's I don't. Yeah, I think he just has a big mental disorder, you know, which at that time people wouldn't kind of, you know, like now it's brought into light, like, hey, really, like serial killers aren't just some messed up people. They have some real mental condition, you know, and now we're dwelling more into it. So my thing is like, I think it was all in his head, and maybe he was just moments from snapping and doing it in real life.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see a revisit of that and kind of see, you know, what
It would be amazing.
because I mean, especially, you know, to see what Christian Bale started out with that movie, and then to what he's done, you know, gone through today and what he's done today. It's just like, that transformation from that to this is amazing to me. But, you know, again, that movie is a great movie to modernize and kind of put a different spin on it. That's brilliant, man. That really is.
Yeah, and I also paid homage to the movie to two of the main characters were named Paul and Alan. So I gave a little homage to it. There's also other mentions. You got to see it. You'll see. I just kind of, I don't know, man. It was just I was just more passion driven in this project because the story was, of course, mine, but at the same time, I'm just, I guess, just paying homage, man, and doing it in a different way. Yeah. So, and overall, the cast and the crew were amazing, and I mean, we're gonna get some great sound in this too, music in this too, and it should be coming out soon on Amazon. So about probably by the end of December, we should have it up on Amazon.
Very nice.
So,
I was just going to ask,
yeah.
you're going to distribute it. Okay. So you're going to
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of Amazon, you know, and not a lot of people know this, you know, and, you know, Amazon does have a YouTube-like feature to where you can upload.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You can
upload anything.
Process all that.
Yeah, and not a lot of people realize that, and you know, these independent filmmakers, and that's how they get their name out. You know, they might charge $2.99, or they might not charge you anything, and they'll just make it part of Amazon Prime. You know.
Yeah, mine is all Prime. My thing is like, whatever. Let people watch it.
And you still still get paid on streams. Amazon will pay you on streams. So you know, but a lot of people don't realize that, and I love that Amazon does that. You know, that is a great thing because it gives creators, it gives creators more than one option. Yeah, you can upload it to YouTube, and you might, you know, but YouTube's so overcrowded. But not everybody knows about Amazon Prime Direct, where you can do it like that. And you know, because I've actually, you know, started uploading some of my stuff there too.
Definitely, it's a good platform. Man.
It really is, and you know that. I mean, I give credit, you know, to Jeff Bezos on that because that's a great idea. That was a great thing for creators.
I think they were just trying to just do their own videos. They're like, you know what? Let's try to be like YouTube. You know, let's just fucking do it. I guess they just did. Yeah. Like they already had the platform. All they have to do is just do inclusion. Just include people, and boom, they have this.
Yeah. Originally, they allowed people to, like, where they had an open pitch platform, and you could pitch to them, and then they might pay you $500 to put it on there or whatever else. And then they took that away for this, which again, I think is a much better thing. Because again, it gives creators a platform to really get their stuff out in front of people and in ways that they couldn't do before.
Showcasing. And you have to also include a trailer with it, subtitles. So it's not like you're just getting some whack quality stuff. I mean, you're getting quality stuff. I mean, both of my previous projects are on there. I'm really getting some good feedback on it. And I mean, like, yeah, it's just quality, uploading quality, you know. And I think they see it, they watch it too. They just don't let. I think they do all that as well. It's not just like YouTube. Yeah, they actually have someone, a moderator, kind of sit there watching videos all day and just kind of process it all. Everything has to be right. One of my projects, the frame rates weren't matching up or something. So, dude, like they like let me know about it and took another 2 weeks for me to get it right, and then they finally accepted it. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot more going on there, just YouTube, because they're trying to promote quality stuff. So I guess that's what this is gonna differentiate with them and YouTube, you know, just I guess quality.
Yeah. because like I said, I played around with it, and like you said, you have to have captions uploaded with it, and they have to match, and this and that, and you have to make sure it's the proper category and the proper this, and then it's so tedious, but it's worth it in the end. Yeah,
it is, man. It is. It's great to see your film on there too, and you can proudly say it's on there. It's a good platform. It's a good platform to have like special actual films on there. Films, Amazon goes hand in hand now.
Yeah. So, what is your plan going forward? I mean, it's you have there's other stuff out there. It's all independently done. It's all done by you. But where do you see yourself growing from here?
I'm trying to enter the entertainment side of things now more as an entertainer. I guess I'll go into it as an actor, as an entertainer, rather see filmmaking is something I was more passionate towards, but I guess working with the cast and crew and being on set and being in front of the camera, I think I've really found my real niche. I guess that's just performing, entertaining, and rather than coordinating a film, I want to be a part of that. I want to be part of just being just one of the people that are on set to, in front of the camera. See, when you're a filmmaker, there's so many moving parts that you have to kind of do, and my thing is like, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, I can do it, but now I just want to just focus strictly on entertaining, just be part of it, just be part of it rather than all of it. You get what I'm saying? So so something like, yeah. So, but that's what I want to focus on. I've been talking to a few people about it, agent-wise and manager-wise, all that. But all this COVID stuff kind of slowed it all down. So during which I was like, hey, you know what? Let me take on another film, and then Jack was something that I was doing, because I was like, man, like, no, I don't want to stop. Like we can still keep going. The year is bad, but whatever, bro. It's only as bad as you can make it.
Exactly.
So my thing was like, all right, so I brought together the cast and the crew. The director was Mr. Fred Tobias IV. He's done previously 2 of my films. So I brought him together. He knows amazing talent. So that just got him on board, and everything else, he just handled it from there. And by the time I knew it, I was in LA filming Jack, and here we are in post now, and closing off the year with this film. So now that I'm back in LA, I can focus more on what was my original plan, which is entering the entertainment side of things, and hopefully I'll just go forward from there now. Hopefully everything just from January starts getting better here. LA starts being LA again, because it's kind of weird to come in here. It's a bit off. LA just kind of doesn't seem like LA. It's just weird, man. You would have, especially if your movie theaters are closed, man. LA is not LA. Because then you're not having your red carpet events or events where you can mingle and socialize with others and, in the same industry. So right now it's just kind of like at a standstill. Yeah, people are working in front of the camera, but at the same time, that stuff that holds everyone together, that whole like, hey, we're all artists and we're all creatives, we can all meet together and kind of, mingle, and all that's missing, because events are where that happens, and all that's out right now. So all it feels like is everyone's just out, just grinding, man, trying to just get through this year. So
yeah, and that was one of the things that I've been really enjoying talking to indie people about, and when I mean indie people, I don't mean just actors and actresses and directors and stuff like that, but music people too. Because one of the things that I've really kind of enjoyed seeing this year was the indie guys across the board being able to level the playing field with some of the bigger acts. Because they're not making movies. They fought to get the movies out that they made last year out this year. But even then, we've only had a handful of big movies come out, like Tenet, and that was pretty much it.
It was nothing this year, man. It was nothing this year. It was just empty.
But indie people have been putting stuff out through, you know, Amazon and through YouTube and through, you know, Netflix. Netflix is buying stuff left and right, you know, and the same thing with the, you know, indie, you know, music people, you know, Lady Gaga and, you know, Justin Timberlake and your Metallicas of the world aren't putting out new music, but these indie bands out of, you know, everywhere else in the world can just upload it straight to Spotify, and they don't have anybody to compete with right now except for other indie bands. And
you have the audience.
you do, and people are begging for it. You know, they're begging for that new stuff, that new opportunity, that's something to see that they haven't seen before, hear something they haven't heard before, because they've heard it all before. Now let's go ahead and give them something different. This is an opportunity to not only, you know, change things up and kind of really, really evaluate who we are as, you know, human race, but it's also an opportunity to reinvent yourself as a person this year. You know, a lot of people can take a step back and say, hey, wait a second. I've always wanted to do this. Now I have an opportunity, maybe. You know, I'm unemployed, living off of unemployment, you know, might as well try something different. Nobody else is going to hire me because the unemployment rate's so freaking high. Might as well try something new. You know, might as well. I mean, give it a shot. What do you got to lose, you know?
Yeah, you got time. You have time right now, you know? That's one of the things about what happened to a lot of people in the lockdown. All that free time kind of, you know, opens up this different side of you, this mind, you know, opens it up. And I guess just being away from the mundane just kind of puts things into perspective for us. You know, being away from friends that we normally used to see and hang out with, being away from them, it kind of, you see another side of the reality. Like, you're right. Like, it's more people just want to focus more on themselves, you know, once you realize that, you know, time is what we have.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. You know, because even I, you know, like I said, I started, you know, focusing on this more and everything else like that. But, you know, I can't do stand up. So, you know, me and a buddy of mine, you know, have decided to write a movie as well. Well, we were approached to write a movie. So we just didn't like say, hey, let's just do this. No, we were approached. But, you know, the whole idea of putting the script together and, you know, the screenplay itself and this and that. Oh my God. You know, it's only been like 3 weeks that we've been working on it, but it's like, okay.
It can get draining, man. And this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's just the beginning. Wait till you have to get on set, man.
Oh, we're shooting next summer.
That's when your patience get tested.
Yeah.
Patience will get tested, man. Patience, even working alongside of best friends, will get tested.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's just the way it is.
I told him, I go, all right, I just do me a favor. I go, you write all these, I'll give you a bunch of plot points. You put everything down on paper. I go, but when it comes to writing lines for me, just write whatever the fuck Derek says. And I'll just improv everything. He goes, no, we're not doing that. I go, yeah, come on. I'm a comedian. I can do that. Just whatever the fuck Derek says. And he's like, right. I'm not doing that, but whatever. I'm like, it sounds good to me. I mean, I'll just play off whatever you say.
Right.
It'll make your life a lot easier, right?
It will. It'll definitely get to the point. Get straight to the point, man. Yeah, you're right. That would be easier.
No,
but like I said, man, voiceovers, yeah, it can be.
That'll make the voiceover worse, yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on set. This process of it is fun because thinking about different scenarios and because it's all on him and I. And you know, it's that aspect of things is fun. So I can definitely understand what you're talking about. You know, seeing your creative vision come to life, but at the same time, you know, just doing the deed in front of the camera and just entertaining, that just has a much more mass appeal to it.
It's a different high, man. It's a different high. Just you're there for a purpose, man. And all these weeks of planning, months of planning, all this thinking, overthinking, all this back and forth fighting, and now you just got to bring it.
Yep.
And after that,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, after that then it depends. Now, if you want to get involved in the post-production stuff, man, that's another beast that you ought to fight. Because post-production, man, it's not that easy. I first thought it was easy. I'm like, what? You just take a bunch of clips, put it together, and just make it all sound good. They're like, no, there's so much involved. So many, like, editing is involved. Then editing goes to triple editing, then quadruple. Then there's a picture lock, and if someone doesn't like that, you got to reset it again. And You got to go frame by frame and just make sure everything matches. Dude, it's a different beast. And if you're gonna be part of that, you got to have another kind of patience. You know,
I want no.
It's a different patience. Yeah, that's the tedious patience. On set is more patience of getting things done on time and having people do what the hell they're supposed to do. But when it comes to post, it's all that plus the tedious nonsense.
Yeah,
so,
I want no part of the post.
Yeah,
just show me the finished product.
It's intense, man. It's intense. But at the same time, man, it's quite an experience. It is.
Yeah.
It's one of those experiences you should definitely, experience.
I mean,
who knows? You might even enjoy it, man. It's just
because I mean, on a small scale, I mean, I do that every day. You know, because I mean, you know, if I don't like a YouTube video, you know, because I mean, everything I do is live. So I mean, you know, if I don't like it, I'm gonna pull it real quick. I'm gonna edit it and then I'm gonna put it back up. Or if I gotta do a pre-recorded interview, which I do sometimes, you know, I gotta edit this out or edit this out. I remember 2 weeks ago, I interviewed a band or one of the people from a band, and he was just in a really bad area, had bad, you know, Wi-Fi, and kept dropping out every 5 minutes. So I had to go back in and literally, you know, cut out those little pieces in time and then make it to where it seemed continuous. Therefore, I'm like, okay, where do we end off? Okay. And then just kind of mark it and then kind of go, it took me 3 or 4 hours just to edit, you know, just to do little segments like that of a 1 hour long interview. So I can only imagine a whole full-length movie.
A film, man, where it's different characters and different personalities all clashing, and you just have to make a sense of everything.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like I said, I want no part of that. I mean, I do enjoy the small scale YouTube stuff of it. But at the same time, I'm not a YouTube creator. You know, I've never have been. I don't put up just regular videos like other YouTube people. This is what I do. But at the same time, I do enjoy that small aspect of things. You know, like, you know, just setting up OBS and getting to create different things like that. I enjoy that aspect of things. But that's all pre-production. So, you know, the post is like where I kind of draw the line. It's like, nope. I like creating. I don't like editing.
Right. Yeah. He's like, yeah, you're right, dude. Editing is just, it's like I said, man, I wouldn't want to be part of it, but since I'm like the executive and the filmmaker I have to go all 9 yards with this. And I guess just to keep my eye on things. But most important thing I've learned is to trust the people that are creating this with you, like your directors and your producers, and you just got to trust them. You know, you may think like, oh, like they're not doing this right, they're not doing this, but you gotta understand like that everyone has this way of just doing things. And then what makes, I guess, a film such an art form is where all these talented people get together and do their things. So this one beautiful thing comes out, you know, and that's something I've learned, you know, just be patient because everyone else has a paintbrush and we're creating this together. And so I guess it's just, I tend to just give that freedom, you know, like, hey, I trust you fully. Let's make it happen. And so far, it's been great. So that's the way I approach this, you know. There's different artists, different paintbrush, but one big canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, you know, and like you just said it before too, that whole entertaining aspect there's no feeling like it in the world. You know, when I walk up on stage, you know, whether it have been as a musician or as a stand-up or even as a professional wrestler, you know, that rush that you feel when you're just getting cheered or booed, that whole first is electric. You know,
as a wrestler, being booed is fun, right?
That was my goal. I wanted
you. Yeah,
it
makes you people like, well, I can make it. Yeah, because anyone can like anyone, you know, but just to make people just hate you or they fucking boo you, bro, it's like, that's entertainment form. It's like purest, man. It's
my God. But you know what? I mean, honestly, I credit that a lot to where I come up with my comedy style. Because it allowed me to really learn crowd control and really learn how
wrestlers know that.
Oh, yeah. Crowd control and how to dissect what your audience is wanting and listening to and how to really kind of improv it on the fly. You know, because I've always been a funny guy, but, you know, it's not everybody who's funny can be a stand-up comedian. But that whole being a wrestler for 12 years, allowed me to really kind of hone in on things, and now I can flip things up on the fly and do this and do that and kind of really read the audience. And if I want to piss them off, I can in a heartbeat. It's fantastic.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. Just people just booing you. It's like, dude, you don't even know me, but I'm loving this.
I remember I was doing a Zoom comedy show back in June. And, you know, Zoom comedy shows, you know, while common now, were not common prior to the pandemic. But one of the things was weird for me was, you know, when you're up on stage doing stand-up comedy or any type of, you know, acting, you know, you've got 1,000 lights in your face and you cannot see the crowd very much. You can sometimes see the front row, but anything beyond that, you cannot see. So, but when you're looking at a Zoom show and you know that you're getting ready to come up on a really, really dark joke or a really, you know, like, you know, something that, you know, you wouldn't say around your mom, but then you see,
you don't know the reaction.
But then you see in the Zoom chat, you know, this, because you see all the different pictures and faces. You see this little 80-year-old couple, and you're like, ooh, should I say this?
And you're almost, yeah.
And then at that point, it's like, you know what?
I can imagine.
Screw it. I just did it.
Yeah, dude, you did it. Hey, you're in, you might as well go all the way in, you know?
Yeah, I did not hold back at all, but there was this moment of, ooh, that couple's a little older. I don't know if I should say this.
Right. Hey, but they're there. They're probably there to have fun and enjoy, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Who knows? Just because they're old, man. Maybe they enjoy darker humor more than we probably understand, man.
Oh, I've learned that a lot. I mean, because I mean, when you're
older, I think you're more open towards it. I guess the dark humor, the dark side of life. You know, it's when you get older.
Yeah. Oh my God. And when you get older, the dark side of you comes out. Like my grandmother.
Yeah. So you understand it, and you could poke fun at it, and you'll totally process it.
So my grandmother's 87, right? And she's the last grandparent I have. You know, my mom's mom. And me and my wife, you know, last week we decided we're gonna separate, right? And my grandmother found out today about it, and she was talking to my mom. And,
oh man.
She called my mom, and she was like, you know, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. And
That's a relief. That's a relief to hear that.
And my mom told me this, and she's like, I'm like, damn, Grandma's dark.
I've been in that position, man. That's the best feeling when you hear people say that. Like, they're not upset or angry. They're actually relieved.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I'm surprised at it. Yeah, dude, that feeling of relief that you feel from people that know you. Because anyone can just be like, oh, that's so sad. Oh, that sucks. But the people that really know you are like, hell yeah, dude, that's a relief. That's a different feeling. That's just like, this is coming from a person that's known me my whole life saying that. Like, they know me.
But yeah,
so, yeah.
I love dark humor. I love dark, you know, things being said. Because it just, again, it comes out of left field sometimes, and it just really kind of sets you off. And it's just like, oh, that's great. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, people need to process nowadays, too, what comedy is. You know, people tend to just make everything political, bro. It's like, dude, just stand back and just enjoy a fucking joke and just smile and laugh.
Yeah.
We need more of that, in this time. And who knows, the decades ahead, we need more of that.
Especially with this cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? You know, like we were talking about earlier before, you know, we went live, you know, I make jokes sometimes that are dark and, you know, could be considered offensive. But at the same time, you know, I'm making that joke for a purpose. I'm doing it to raise awareness about a certain situation, you know, because again, once I say it, you might get pissed off at me at first, but again, then that thought's in your mind, that thought's in your mouth. Now go ahead and do something about it. You know, don't just get pissed off at me because I'm just saying the words. I'm not necessarily, I'm not the one doing these things I'm saying. I'm just making jokes about it. Now go ahead and advocate for it, you know? And, you know, but people just automatically just, it's, oh, you said it. You must be, you know, guilty of it. And now, you know, you're done. I'm going to cancel you.
Dude, how are you going to cancel comedians, man? I'm still trying to understand that. The situation, bro. Comedians, bro, like, I've been around some, bro. Honestly, they're the craziest people I've known in my life. Like, I don't think they're all mentally there, but they're fucking hilarious for a reason. They get to see the humorous side of that normal people don't, and that's what makes them so awesome to be around, so cool to be around. How are you gonna just cancel these people? Like, For what? A fucking joke? Like, come on, it's a joke. Like, and they just jump over the stage and slap you in the face and then get offended. But other than that, they're just jokes, man. They're laughing. They want to make people to laugh with them, And
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Comedians getting canceled is never something I understood.
So last month, maybe a little bit longer ago, I can't remember when it happened, but on the season premiere of Saturday Night Live, they had comedian Bill Burr.
I heard that one.
Okay. Well, during that, he kind of went off and did a bunch of jokes about white women, about how they love to steal the spotlight from other causes. And he was talking specifically about the woke movement that was happened earlier this year that was specifically, about black women and stuff like that. And how, white women came in and kind of stole the spotlight from it. He was talking shit about that. And talking about how white women just need to shut up and sit down and actually listen and learn something for a change and stuff like that. And, the next day, lo and behold, all over Twitter, white women everywhere pissed off.
Backlash. Oh, comedians, man, they're observants too. They observe things and they make fun of it. So, man, sometimes when comedians they tell you how it is, but in a joking manner. So him saying that, bro, I'm sure a lot of people agreed. But you know what? Hey, if I don't hate on this, then my friends might not. It's a whole culture. You're right. It's a culture. Some people, you ask them, hey, why are you hating on so and so? I don't know, man. Others hate them, so I hate this person. And that's what is driven nowadays. Hate is driven just because it's a crowd mentality.
Yeah.
No longer is hate done because through a personal experience. It's just hate because the crowd mentality. And now with social media, I'm gonna post this on there. All my friends better post this, or some they're not cool with me.
Yeah.
And this is a society. I guess it just drives hate, man. And I guess I don't know, man. It's just accepting people is more, I guess, less of a priority now than how you could hate on them. I guess that's the real priority.
Yep, exactly.
Things are getting twisted now.
Exactly.
Hopefully it'll get better. We'll never know.
Yep. All right, man. Well, dude, you are a cool fucking cat. I did not know what to expect tonight. And I love that. I love not knowing what to expect from a guest. So, thank you very much, man, for, coming all over the place with me and, talking about yourself, talking about this and talking about that.
Yes,
I'm really looking forward to seeing your movie, Jack. I'll definitely look for that in December. And guys, go, follow him at all of his social medias. Again, those will be in the description of the video and of the podcast. Follow, Anis here, and definitely take a look at everything else he's got going on. But dude, it's been a complete pleasure talking to you tonight. And
man, it's amazing. It was refreshing, actually. My day was kind of a slump, but it was a great conversation, man. I'm feeling great,
dude. I appreciate that, because I mean it with this days and times, we need a laughter. We need we need to be able to get down and dirty with who we are, right?
We need good conversations. Conversations with good intents, and it makes the world go around, man.
Exactly. Dude, again, I appreciate you very, very much, and we will talk again soon, man.
Thank you. Definitely looking forward to it.
All right, man. You have a good one now.
You as well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So that was Anis. What a cool guy. What a cool guy. I'm really, really appreciative of him and, talking to me tonight, because that was really fun. But now, you ready for some music? Are you ready for some good stuff? You ready to have some conversation about some punk and all this other good stuff, man? Because that's what we're going to do. But first, let's go ahead and give you a little preview of what we're talking about, who we're talking about. The band that we're getting ready to talk about. We'll do all that here in a moment after I plug Manscaped. Guys, this right here is the absolute best thing on the market today. The Lawnmower 3.0. You can't go wrong. You want to shave your junk, you want to shave your chest, shave your armpits. This thing will not nick you, cut you, or anything else like that. It's waterproof. It is fantastic. The battery life on it is about 90 minutes. It's fantastic. It works so well. And when you go to manscaped.com, Right now, you guys can get the Perfect Package 3.0, which includes this, the Lawnmower 3.0, as well as some nice little cleanup pads to stand on to make sure you don't get, pubes all over the floor and piss off your wife. You also get ball deodorant, which allows you to, keep your balls smelling fresh all fucking day. On top of that, you also get this right here. It's called a Crop Reviver. It's a ball toner, which prevents ingrown hairs and prevents chafing. On top of that, you also get this nice, sleek, stylish leather carrying case and a pair of boxers, all for $99.99. And when you use promo code SuckItPodcast, all one word, at checkout, you get 20% off and free shipping. Fantastic deal. Plus on there, you can also get the Weed Whacker, which is a nose and ear hair trimmer. You can also get, revolutionary nail cutters and, cuticle cutters, manscaping stuff. Everything for man, from your chest, your balls, and your nails, all at Manscaped. Again, 20% off with promo code SuckItPodcast at manscaped.com. Trust me when I say your balls will thank you. All right. So, joining me tonight from the band, I can't even talk tonight, Stolen Wheelchairs, is one of the band members named Oscar. So, without further ado, what I'm going to do for you now is we're going to play a song by the Stolen Wheelchairs. And then I'm going to bring Oscar on, and we're going to talk some music. We're going to talk about the band. We're going to do a bunch of cool shit. So without any further ado, here we go. What up, Oscar?
Yo, how's it going?
Good, man. So I just played the video for the song, while we were sitting there in silence. That's why I had you on mute. I listened to it today when I got the last minute email, and I was blown away, man.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Dude, Great fucking song, great music video. Definitely had that punk feel to it, which I feel is missing a lot from today's music. Punk music has kind of taken that whole pop punk turn, which there's nothing wrong with that at all, but I miss that real punk type feel. I love metal. I'm the metal guy. I love my, everything from Ginger to Metallica to, Avenged Sevenfold and Ice Nine Kills and the whole nine yards. But I miss that real punk sound. And when I was listening to that today, I was like, oh, thank God somebody's finally bringing it back.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate that. We worked hard on this record, like I'm super stoked to be getting it out. It took a while, we started recording in January, but I'm glad to finally see it come to fruition, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's your debut album, it's, it rocks. I mean, it really does. But and every band I've talked to in the last 3 weeks, or over the last 6 months, the thing that sucks is you can't go out and promote it right now. You've got your PR people, you've got Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, but that's it. So what are you guys doing, to try to punch people in the faces and say, fuck, we're here?
We're trying to do as much online stuff as possible, and I guess I don't want to say special things, but like we're planning a live stream set. Hopefully in the next few weeks, we can get into film that. I just released a split 7-inch with our friend Byrne through Fameless Records, because that's like it's like a 7-inch through their like first edition of their zine they're doing, and just trying to come up with new ways of keeping busy, it's been hard though, because like shows are such a large part of music. But as for me, I've just been writing as much as possible, trying to have material saved for when eventually we can play it out,
Yeah, absolutely. No, I definitely agree with you on that. So before we go any further, I'm gonna go. We talked about live stream for a second there. And you and I talked briefly today on Messenger, and we just literally met 5 minutes ago. But I'm going to throw this out there to you as well, because I'm going to offer you and everybody else from Earshot this opportunity, because it's a big one. December 11th, I'm doing a Toys for Tots telethon. 100% live streamed. I got a bunch of bands already signed on, a bunch of comedians already signed on, and you and your band are more than welcome to send in a 20-minute set, or guys, if you guys want to play live, you guys can do that too. But the invitation is open to the Stolen Wheelchairs.
Oh, dude, thank you. Whether or not that's the band or like a solo thing, I think we're down to do that if that's cool.
Absolutely, dude. Again, it's for a good cause. It's for Toys for Tots. There's a lot of people that, I'm sitting here bitching about, you and I are sitting here bitching about not being able to go to shows and play shows, but there's people that are bitching that they don't have any money, they don't have a job, they can't give their kids Christmas, and I want to try to make that a little bit easier this year. So we're doing a huge stream. I mean, me and my buddy who are doing it, we said it's going to go at least 4 hours, but we're willing to go up to 12 to get the money that we want to raise. I mean, we're going to do whatever we got to do. And I think I have the enough acts to go at least 6 hours right now. So, I'm willing to go, dude.
Dude, that sounds awesome. I'm stoked to hopefully be a part of it in one, or in whichever instance of the band, whether or not it's acoustic solo or like we would.
However you want to offer, I would appreciate it. The amount of people that I've reached out to and talked to about this, the instant feedback that I got was just amazing, and I'm so happy. So, I definitely, wanted to reach out to you as well, and I'm going to reach out to people that I'm talking to tomorrow and Thursday and everything else like that too. But it's like, nope, I want to make sure that we have the biggest event ever for Toys for Tots. I mean, I'm going to blow this thing up. It's going to be great. But,
Yeah, dude.
enough about me plugging a show. But, you're right. We can't go play shows. I can't be a stand-up comedian this year, other than on my show. You can't be a musician other than on, digital or virtual events. You can't go out and get in front of the people's faces. Last year I saw 10 different concerts. To not see one this year stings.
Yeah, it's it's like therapy for us. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think because I've been doing a few like typing interviews, I noticed. I think it's really our community that I miss the most. Just seeing all of our friends in one spot, which we can't, and Facebook doesn't really do it justice. We've seen some of our friends, we've linked up with some, but not nearly as many as if we were playing shows regularly, which is unfortunate. There's so many people that I haven't seen since March.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
awesome people.
And, I know what it's like to be on both sides, whether it's on the stage or in the crowd. That adrenaline rush is unmatched when you first walk out onto a stage. But when you're in the crowd, that same feeling that, it's a different type of feeling when you first see that band walk out on stage and they're about to hit that first chord and just blow up that freaking, your ears with, But then at the same time, when you're out there and you're looking at the crowd of people that are with you, one of the greatest things I think about the metal or rock community is the amount of acceptance we have as far as cultural goes. And I think that's, as far as music goes in general, I think that's pretty, music, there's some culture to it, but it doesn't really know culture at the same time. But when you go to a rock or metal show, you see every color, every age, every this, every that, and it really kind of allows you to know, hey, the metal community loves each other, and it's fantastic,
That's definitely what I miss most is all those, all of our friends who were just so different and unique, just such a there's such a just wide variety of people that come out to shows, especially in Philly, Boston. We have a lot of friends up there. Everywhere we've played, there's been great people, and that's what, if you're talking about metal or rock music, but and punk especially, but it's I just love how accepting and community driven punk, especially at least in my experience, has been.
Yeah. Where are you guys based out of?
Philly.
You guys are based out of Philly. Okay, so you're only a few hours from me. I'm in Northern Virginia. So once you guys get going, you guys need to come down to the DC area or Silver Springs, Maryland, and shit like that. Where they have the good places. I would love to see you guys. I might drive to Philly, get a cheesesteak while I'm up there, but but get the fuck, get some damn gigs booked. But at the same time, it sucks. It really, really does, because this year especially, the smaller venues are the ones at the biggest risk. There was a rather large comedy club that was in Austin, Texas, that was like, one of the, crowning, places to go. If you got booked there, you had made it. And they had to close down this year. If it wasn't for Miley Cyrus and a bunch of other places, the Whiskey A Go-Go in LA would have closed down, last week or 2 weeks ago. So, thankfully these people are trying to do something, but I worry about one of the best places that I love to see music at, which is in Baltimore. It's called the Baltimore Soundstage. It's a little place underneath a freaking parking garage, but it's badass. I saw Ice Nine Kills there twice last year, and it's like, what's going to happen to places like that? Because then places like that, if they go away, then the indie scene goes away. And then once the indie scene goes away, then they're not going to be able to find the good talent anymore. It sucks. This pandemic has a bigger, impact than what we're thinking.
I think if I'm trying to be positive about it, I think the venues will come back, but I think the unfortunate thing about it is it's going to be probably different people who own them, which may entirely not make it a venue catered to, I guess your original scene, which sucks. And your friends who may have worked there, it's going to be really interesting seeing what's going to happen. I think I saw some stuff about I think it was Live Nation was buying up some venues, which isn't too cool.
No, it's not.
If Live Nation has all the venues in your your city, you're getting fucked.
Yeah, because when Live Nation first started, before they were bought out by Ticketmaster, that was literally for the rock community and the smaller scene. But now it's completely different. Huh?
I said, how do you know it was Ticketmaster? That's what I was going to say first.
Yeah, no, yeah. Live Nation was bought by Ticketmaster, or they partnered with Either way, they're all together now. But
yeah.
But either way, I mean, if Live Nation buys a venue, you're going to see Taylor Swift, and you're not going to see anybody else.
Yeah, it's definitely weird, and ticket prices it's not good for, I think, communities to not have independently owned venues.
Yeah. No, I mean, the independently owned venues are as important as the indie music scene itself. And especially this year with, the fact that, like I just said, Taylor Swift's not putting out new music. Avenged Sevenfold's not putting out new music. Metallica's not putting out new music. These big bands are not putting out new music. What's been, aside from a few things here and there, what's been coming out more than ever is the indie scene, because you're like, what? I don't have anybody to compete with on a Friday, so I'm going to put something out.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I can put out a new single on a Tuesday and not, have to compete with so-and-so? When they put it out,
that's what's been awesome.
It really has.
Is like how, I don't want to say available people have been, but what was really cool about the mixing of our record is, for me, I was a senior in high school in March. It was my last year, and it ended right when we were going into mixing. And what was cool is I got to the dude who mixed our record, Benny, he's up in Boston, sent me a live stream of him mixing. So I was able to just stay in my bed for 6 hours instead of working or going to school, and just be like, oh, maybe we should, try that, or just, it was a lot quicker. And I think the record was a lot better because of it. And just, there's so many different, I don't want to say opportunities, but just, there's more chances to, and more time to promote, since you're not competing with people as much working during the weekday, or there's some rules that you can kind of break now, but we'll see once stuff starts picking up, Uh-oh.
That was me. My bad. I kind of worry about, what's going to happen when it all does, start coming back. What's it going to look like next year? But at the same time, I know for a fact some of these bands have, new albums in the can that aren't going to put it out until they can actually put out a tour. I'm one of the biggest Avenged Sevenfold fans out there. They're my favorite band of all time, and I was really, really disappointed with Matt and Sin. 3 weeks ago when I got my monthly fan email saying, hey, we have our new album ready to go, but we're not putting it out there until we can tour. Our music needs to be followed up with a tour, because we need to make sure that you can feel it while we're on stage.
I feel like don't let people know that at that point.
Exactly. Especially because of the circumstances that's surrounding them. They had to 2 years ago, they had to cancel their headlining tour from the stage because Matt got a really bad, vocal cord infection. So they had to cancel their entire tour. It was them and 3 Days Grace, I think it was. And which I wasn't going to show up for 3 Days Grace, but I was going to show up for them. But they 2 years ago we got the stage, then we got to see them with Metallica, and then they were supposed to go on their own headlining tour, and that didn't happen. And now it's like, okay, we haven't seen or heard anything from you guys in 2 years. And now we get this email, hey, we're ready to go, but we're not giving it to you.
Or like maybe release like
something. Give me a single.
New songs. Or at that point, just write like a few new songs with the within mind. Oh, be quiet, Bob. Bob's sending me one of my buddies is he's talking about Avenged Sevenfold. He's watching right now.
What's wrong with that? Was he talking shit about Avenged Sevenfold?
No, I didn't. He said something about Screeching Weasel. But I'll read it later, Bob. Like I think a lot of bands could take the opportunity to do different things and just release songs for even the sake of releasing songs. I noticed Bad Religion, speaking of Avenged Sevenfold, their new drummer was originally in Bad Religion.
Correct.
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
And they're releasing like demos or like different versions of songs they recorded just to keep getting new stuff. And I've been toying with the idea of just writing, with the idea in mind, it probably might not be on an album, just to get it out, just to give people stuff. Like I've been releasing some short videos of like songs that I'm just working on just to keep it fun, you know?
Yeah. And it's, especially for like the Avenged Sevenfolds of the world and even the Taylor Swifts and, the major acts that want to tour with the new album. The thing about it is, you mean to tell me that you don't have a live recording from 2 years ago that you guys can put out? Yeah. Something just to give us something. Einstein Kills, okay, one of my other favorite bands of today. Had a recording that they did last year, at their final show that they did in Worcester, Mass. They just put out the live album, 19 songs. It's the same songs that we've been hearing for 2 years from them, because they haven't put out a new album since Silver Scream in
something
2018. Different. But you know what? It's another live album. It's something that, saying, hey, we care about you guys. Here's something else. You know, and this is the second time they put out a live album this year, but it's like, hey, they did it. It's the same stuff, but it's something new and different. It's a different arrangement, a different crowd, a different feeling, something. Give your fans something, yeah.
I think a lot of the bands I've seen that have been that haven't drowned during this like whole thing are the ones doing that new stuff, and they're probably not making a lot of money from it. It seems like they're just doing it because this is what they love, is just creating. And you really see the people who are in it because they love it, creating new stuff. Because I think a lot of creative artists need to, and I just think it's important to always be working on something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a creator. I mean, to create is in your blood. But at the same time, if you're not getting that instant gratification from your fan base, what are you doing it for? So yeah, we're going to go ahead and spend our time during the pandemic, making, a good record, a good follow-up to, the last record, but we're not going to give it to you. It's like, I can't do that. As a stand-up comedian, as a former musician, if I create something, I want to get it out there ASAP. If it wasn't for my show that I get to do, nightly, I would go batshit crazy, but I'm not the type of person that can do a, simple, stupid comedy act, on YouTube and just throw it up there and hope it gets views.
It's hard when you don't have that audience.
No, exactly. So I love having, an audience of, someone I can talk back and forth with and joke around with and, talk about other passions that I have in my life, which music and comedy are my two biggest passions other than comic books. You know, so those are three things that I could literally talk to anybody about all night long for hours upon hours upon hours. And it's, if I didn't have this outlet, I don't know what I would be doing right now.
Yeah, thank God for the internet. Like, if this would have happened, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, I don't know when the internet came about. I'm too young for that.
Yeah, you are.
Like 95, 98?
No, it was early 90s when it came out, but it didn't really start getting massive until 95, 96 with AOL. And then
For my time.
yeah.
2001 over here.
But yeah, so you're the same age as my daughter. Yeah, I have that makes me feel sad. You know, I have an 18-year-old daughter who turns 19 in December. So yeah, you graduated. Yeah. Oh my God.
Same year. Yeah. Friday was my birthday, turning 19. So wish her an early happy birthday.
You know, I'm only 39, but God damn it, Oscar, you make me feel old as fuck now.
Sorry.
God damn it. I'm interviewing people that are old, you know, same age as my goddamn daughter. Now I feel ancient.
I feel like, you know, as they say, age is in the mind. Right? Is that a quote?
Well,
Or is it
for
just
me,
something like
yeah,
older people
age
say?
is definitely in the mind, but for me, it's also in my body too. I mean,
Dude,
'cause-
I stopped working and I don't feel any more pain. It's great.
See, for me, it's gotten worse because
Oh, man.
I've gotten worse pain since I've stopped working and started, you know, focusing on entertainment full time. Because after I left the music business, I became a professional wrestler and I was a pro wrestler for 12 years. So during that time, I was also an MMA fighter as well, and I wrestled in high school, and I've been a martial arts guy since I was 5. So my body's been beat the fuck up. So I actually broke my neck in 2013.
Oh, man.
So, but now it's like, you know, now I wake up, I have hip problems, I have shoulder issues, I've still got a neck issue. You know, I'm missing 2 bones in my neck, you know.
Man.
You know, it's like my body just is falling apart. You know, if I sit down too long on this couch, you know, without adjusting, it's like, oh shit, I'm gonna be in pain.
I'm sure I'll be there one day.
It is the worst feeling in the world, especially, you know, being only 39 years old, not even 40 yet, and I feel like I'm in my 60s. You know.
Yeah, that was what sucked about working a warehouse job was just mainly the back pain. I was lifting like the right way, you know, but I'm small, so like anything over like 50 pounds, lifting it up like, you know, 100 times is gonna mess me up.
Yeah.
But,
Well, see,
that's been the cool thing.
See, while I've always been in the entertainment business, I've always had a full-time job up until, you know, this year. And I was in retail, and I was a retail store manager. So I did everything. And, you know, that killed my body too. But, you know, that's one thing I just do not miss is that grind of going to a grocery store every day or going to, you know, a big box retail store and having to worry about this or worry about that because it's mentally taxing and it's also, you know, physically taxing. You know,
Yeah.
I would walk in at 7 o'clock in the morning and my overnight crew didn't have the truck done. It's like, oh shit. All right, if my boss walks in here in an hour, I got to make sure it's done. So I got to go throw freight. No, I don't want to throw freight. I'm the boss. Why do I got to throw freight?
That was one of the worst parts of coming in on Monday, having like all the trucks come back with returns. Because I worked for an AV rental company, so and they'd all come in Monday, and it was just stressful for everyone. You know, it's cool kind of seeing what people would do in their free time if they didn't have to work as much. I do miss the schedule because like when people started when I guess lockdowns were kind of happening, it really threw me for a loop just because like I'm used to, you know, waking up at 7, you know, coming home. Because it takes me a while to get into a routine, and like now I've been staying up till like 5, waking up at like 2, you know, it's not good.
Yeah, I'm the same way because, you know, when, you know, my wife goes to bed, you know, I'm still working because, you know, I'm going to email this PR person. I'm going to either email this manager. Oh, you know, I'm going to go ahead and create a graphic for tomorrow while I'm still awake. I can't sleep. I mean, I might as well I can go do this and then go do that. And, you know, as soon as I'm done here, I got to take the freaking, you know, recording from OBS and I got to upload it to Adobe Audition and subtract the freaking, you know, the audio from it and then upload it to the podcast platforms, and then I gotta make sure everything's. Oh my God, it's such a pain in the ass.
It's kind of fun when it's like 3 a.m. and you're doing stuff. You feel productive.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like I was telling you earlier today on Messenger, I just recently quit using StreamYard. And the great thing about StreamYard, the only great thing about StreamYard, because other than that, it sucks now because of just the lag issues and the video quality was horrible. It gave me a separate audio and video file, so I could just download the audio stuff and just upload it straight to there. But now that I've switched to Zoom using OBS, it's like now I can only record the video. No, I could record the audio with
external.
Yeah, I could, and I could also do it through, I could turn on Audition and have everything done while I'm doing that. But at the same time, I could also do it through Zoom. But then I'd have to add in my intro and my outro and stuff like that. So I can just record everything through OBS and then just.
I've heard a lot of good stuff about Discord too.
I haven't tried Discord. I mean,
and like re-uploads.
Yeah, I mean
to be high quality.
But OBS, I was really, really hesitant for a long time to switch over to OBS because there's a lot of stuff to it. Huh?
What were you, like, did you just do that like recently or?
Oh yeah, I literally today is my second day using OBS.
Oh man, it's a pretty dope program.
But I spent, because yesterday at noon, because on Mondays at noon I do strictly a mental health show with a girlfriend of mine, and it was just like. For the last 2 weeks, I have not been able to get a clear signal going to YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that from StreamYard. And yesterday was my last straw. So as soon as I got done with that, I wanted to, I was like, maybe it's my internet connection. Let me just double check. So I pulled up Zoom and I was like, you know what? It's working just fine. So then I spent I had an interview last night at 8 o'clock, and I was like, you know what? So I spent from 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon to 7:55, programming OBS and looking at different YouTube videos, how to do this and how to do that. Now I picked it up really quickly, and then tonight I didn't do as much with it last night, but I spent more time with it today, and I even downloaded the app for my phone so I could do all the transitions.
There's an app?
Oh my God, yes, there's an app. So
I gotta get that.
So literally.
Is it iPhone too?
So, huh?
Yeah.
So literally, I have all the different scenes set up, and they're all set up in my phone, so I can transition back and forth.
Oh my God.
So I have a 2-camera setup.
Yeah.
So I have the Zoom setup feed right now, which is what we're talking on, and I have my overlay and everything like that. You don't see that, but it's there. And then I have my opening monologue and my closing monologue scene, which is my second video, camera. And it's just me with a green screen. And then I also had, I uploaded your video. I didn't use YouTube. I just uploaded it straight to, to the OBS. And I just hit the button and boom, done.
That's awesome.
So I don't have to keep going like this.
Yeah.
Nope,
that would be really good for
right here on my phone.
Like a live stream if you have multiple cameras too.
And that's what I have. So I mean, we're live right now, and I have multiple cameras. I have my, I have a basic, C920 webcam, and then I've got my expensive ass Canon, which we're talking on right now.
Yeah. So how'd you hook those up? Because I'm trying to figure out some sort of multi-camera kind of thing.
Luckily, OBS allows you to do that. Now, the only thing about it is if, say for instance, you can't have multiple camera scenes with the same camera you can't have multiple scenes within OBS for multiple different camera scenes. However, if you're going to use Zoom as well, you cannot have another scene inside OBS outside of Zoom. Does that make sense?
So you're saying you can't have a scene so say on this camera, you can't have 2 different scenes for this camera.
Correct. So
Gotcha.
Right now, this camera is not hooked up to OBS. Right now, it's only hooked up to Zoom. Then I have a separate camera that is hooked up to OBS like that. So if I was going to set up a separate stream for just me, I'd have to re-add this camera into OBS, which just takes 2 seconds.
And are you doing that through I know nobody's probably going to find this interesting.
Who cares? But, it's a conversation. We're having fun. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm doing this for me. No, but I was gonna say, so are you hooking up the cameras through USB or are you doing it Bluetooth or?
No, they're all USB. So luckily Canon, which is my main camera, it's my DSLR. I don't use a capture card. I use Canon came out with a webcam adapter. It's a program, so it's called EOS Utility Cam. So I downloaded that, and I was able to plug my camera straight in USB. And then my webcam that I have is obviously USB. So I have.
So
two
what do you have to
USBs.
use, like an Elgato or something? Are those still around?
Elgato's still around, yeah, but again with Canon, I don't have to have an Elgato, a cam link or a capture card.
Sold mine.
Yeah, I don't have to have a cam link or a capture card with the Canon, thankfully.
All right.
I think Matt. What's the other one? Another camera company has a built-in, webcam functionality too, but it's like Sony, you have to have like a capture card or a cam link or something like that. But yeah,
I gotta check that out now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been playing with it for 2 days, and I'm like, why did I hesitate so long to do this? I was like, whatever. And like I said, having it all right there on my phone and being able to do it. And one of the main reasons why I did it though was because of this charity concert that I'm going to be doing. If I was having that much lag with just me and one other person, imagine all the lag I was going to have. Nope. With doing 10 different, if with you guys would be, I think I'm at like 12 different bands, 8 different comedians, and then plus, I've got 10 different major celebrities that are sending me 30-second clips of just saying.
Something tells me you don't have like a giant server in your basement.
No, but OBS, thank God it's cloud, and but I can change the latency. I can do this. I can do that, and make it all so much more crisp than StreamYard allows me to do. So
yeah, OBS is dope.
It really is.
That's what we used for our one little live stream. It wasn't too complex, but it's just nice to like just have the scenes. The scenes are great. I gotta work with it more, especially in this little like live streaming environment. But
yeah,
OBS is awesome.
It really is. I mean, I've really enjoyed it, and I've really just come to accept it. I get excited about it now. It's like when I sat down today and I just started playing with this, and I can go ahead and just do everything from my phone. I didn't have to move once. I was like, oh, this is so fucking
it's
dope. It's
fun when you get like a new program. It's hard when you're trying to learn it, but once you start to get the hang of it, it's like it's just awesome.
Yeah, it really, really, really is. So now that we've sold OBS to people and had conversations. By the way, I use Streamlabs OBS, which makes it a little bit easier. But
it's got the regular one.
Yeah, I mean Streamlabs OBS is great, but OBS is great too.
Yeah, OBS, I think.
Yeah, but
the black one with the spirals.
Yeah, I use the Streamlabs OBS, which allows me to go live straight from here and other stuff like that. And
no messing around with stream keys. Yeah.
Nope, I don't have to mess around with stream keys. I can log in directly from here to YouTube, so I didn't have to worry about that at all.
I'm gonna have to look into that too.
Yeah. it's fantastic. I mean, but if you know OBS, you'll know Streamlabs OBS. It just has a few more extra functionalities.
All right.
So there you go. See, now we had a nice tech talk. See?
Yeah, we learned something. Hope you're interested in OBS. All right, I'll look at the camera.
But to be honest with you, I mean, OBS tutorials and this tutorials and Twitch tutorials are one of the biggest things on freaking the internet right now. So I sit there, I put in the tags later on tonight, OBS tutorial. This thing's gonna blow up. It's like, okay, you know what? I could always use more views on YouTube.
Yeah. That's one of the hard things about the program I was using for the record when we were recording. It's called Reaper, and it's more of a like it's not Pro Tools, it's not Logic, it's not Ableton. So there are some reviews, but it's really hard to find them. And just trying to figure out this is really not user friendly at all either. But it's $60 instead of like $60 a month, or whatever Pro Tools is. And it's just
60 a month, yeah.
but it's cool. Yeah, we recorded the entire record ourselves, which was pretty cool.
Sound
Right
quality on it is fantastic.
Dude, thank you. Benny did a great job mixing. My bass player Lou helped me record. We had like a 2-computer setup. We had the one running as kind of like to gain stage as like a slave kind of computer, and then but it was cool. Yeah, we did it in our living room, which I'm really happy with how it sounds considering it was done DIY.
Yeah, but again, that's what makes it that much better. Because you didn't have a Sony CEO or a Sony exec standing behind you, sitting there going, "Nope, you're not doing that. I don't like that. Nope.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do this. Nope, I don't like that. Nope. Change that key. Nope, I don't like that riff."
We have to take our time.
Oh my god.
Too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I I was super stressed, just like kind of doing everything as like a producer, wearing the producer hat, mixing. Well, not mixing, but recording. Just making sure I didn't fuck anything up. Because it's like I don't want to have to like reset up the drums and get new drum tracks, which would have been awful.
Yeah.
We took a risk doing that because we didn't want to spend like $700 a day or a weekend to just have like a space to record at. So I was like, screw it, we'll do it at the house. And thankfully it went smooth enough. It was really nice having like that option to be able to like to not be rushed. So like with vocal takes, I was able to like space them out over the course of a few days, just to make sure my voice didn't because if we were paying for studio time, I would have just had to go like back to back to back.
Yeah.
And the record would have suffered because of it. So it was really cool having that casual environment.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about because I knew you were only 18. And one of the things I wanted to discuss with you was your scream. A lot of people that are not into metal or punk or rock or anything like that, really kind of don't understand the scream. They think it's just yelling and there's not a technique to it and blah, 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 blah. A vocal fry is one of the hardest things you could ever learn as far as being a musician goes.
Yeah.
Straight up. I mean, teaching your voice to do that and doing it properly, is very, very hard.
Yeah, the proper part's hard.
And that was what I was going to ask you. Being only 18 years old, did you have to, did you study it the proper ways of doing it? Are you doing it the right way? Did you get voice lessons, or are you just kind of? Huh?
I definitely didn't have voice lessons. Sorry, I didn't know if you were gonna.
No, that's fine.
I'm hoping I do it the right way. I project from the diaphragm, so I'm hoping that's. But this will probably be worrisome to some people. I kind of just broke my voice until it stopped breaking. Like I'd yell a couple times. Like it originally started because I was listening to Foo Fighters and I was trying to do some yelling stuff like that. And I was maybe like in like 8th grade, maybe like 9th grade or something. And yelling when nobody was home. Because when you're trying it out, it's weird. You sound weird, regardless, and just trying to get confident to do it. Yeah. And we have some demos on the Bandcamp that are kind of like me testing out that, I guess, voice rasp. But I really didn't get into trying that scream until have you ever heard of the Unseen? They were a band on like Hellcat.
Yes.
That's his label. And they have that very like kind of like, I don't want to say screamo, but that high end kind of scream. And eventually I started trying it out. I think at live shows. I was pretty happy with it. It was once I got it down, it was actually easier to scream than do some like high notes, which I find kind of funny. Because like when your voice is going, sometimes it's easier to like just do that scream, and it's at this point for me, it's kind of like cheating. If I ever get like if my voice is starting to go, I can just do that, and it's like don't have to worry about it because it sounds good enough,
Yeah, because that's being that I used to be friends with, I just lost contact with him. It's not like we've had a falling out or anything like that. But, I used to be friends with Matt Heafy from Trivium, who had a well-known, blowout a few years back, and thought he could never scream again because of how badly he blew out his vocal cords. You know, obviously, like I said before, you know, Matt Shadows from A7X, you know, has had multiple issues with his voice. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, even though I love it and I know how to do it properly and I sing it, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, I still worry about other people doing it. It's like, you know, sometimes I can hear it, you know, like, even though, like, here's a perfect example. The band Knocked Loose. You know who they are?
I'm not too familiar with them. No. Are they metal? Are they metal or like?
They're punk metal.
Okay.
It's a little bit different. But you need to look them up because the lead singer has a completely different type of scream. And it's like when you listen to it, it kind of makes me go, ooh, shit. You know, how long is that going to be able to last?
That's one thing when I see videos of like the Unseen live, I don't, they're not really playing out anymore, but like from like 2010 and like I think that they were like playing Warped Tour and you know that's like however many shows back to back and seeing it like, oh man, like that must really hurt to just because at least my experience personally, when it's going, you know when it's going.
Yeah. And
it's not good to keep pushing when it's because when you I think when you push too hard, once you start losing your voice, you lose it almost immediately. So I try to like for live shows, I try to like balance the singing and the screaming. So it's not as much as I would on the record. I'm not pushing as hard.
Yeah.
But you don't really notice only because like I feel like because you're kind of focusing on different things when you're playing live.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Corey Taylor is notorious for doing that with Slipknot shows. You know, I mean, he does not.
You gotta balance it. Like
he does when he's on the road. I mean, he's probably screams and growls probably 2/3 less in shows than he does on an album. I mean.
It's hard to do a tour yelling like that.
God,
you know?
Yes, it is. I mean, I remember my first tour doing it, and I was just doing backup, added screams and growls, and it's like, fuck, if you're not doing it right, you know, it took me a while to figure out the right way to do it. But it's like, it's it's tough.
And a lot of stuff I noticed is I do it pretty well until say we're in a smaller club and I'm trying to project more.
Yeah.
That's when it starts to like go south quick as far as like your vocal cords. So it's good to like, I don't want to say cheat, but balance real singing, with the scream only because like it helps. I think it makes the performance better. Because I'd rather have like a really good solid performance with a little bit of singing. Because I feel like some people like scoff at singing if you're in a band that primarily screams, or they'll be like, "Oh, he doesn't sound like he does on the record." I'd rather have that than you sing the first half of the set like the record and then you can't sing anymore.
Yeah, but if you're a good front man, that shouldn't matter.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can be a great lead singer. But if you're just a great lead singer, then they're gonna fucking shit on you.
That's balance, trying to figure out how much you need to move versus
exactly. But if you're a good front man, yeah, if you're a good front man, that's when it matters because you might be not screaming as much or growling as much, as you do on the record. But if you're interacting with the crowd and they can feel you, they don't give a fuck what you do. You could completely mess up a line, completely mess up a verse or the whole freaking chorus, and they're not going to give a shit because they're just loving what you're doing.
That's what's great about live shows,
Yeah.
Like on recording, it's kind of under a microscope, but live, I think whatever gives the band and the audience the best time is usually the best way to go. So like if you're sitting there trying to have perfect vocals but not moving, that's not as interesting as if, you know, it's a little bit messed up, but you're in the crowd, people are singing back at you, you know what I mean? One of my favorite shows that we played was where the PA blew out, and we did a cover of Black Flag's Rise Above with no mics, and everyone knew it. It was just one of those really like unique moments that'll stand out, and hopefully for other people.
Yeah, I had a moment like that twice. Not for me personally, but I was in the crowd of. Happened twice. So the first time, 15 years ago, I was at a show in Orlando, Florida, and I was watching Breaking Benjamin.
Okay.
And the power went out, like, completely. But Ben and the crew did not stop playing. So as soon as the power came back on, it was seamless. Like, they were still dead on, still everything.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and because we were all still singing along, because we saw them still up on stage doing their thing, and Ben, you know, just even stopped for a second and kind of went like this, and keep going, and they just did, and it was great. So, you know, hats off to them for that. Like I said, that was like 15 years ago.
That's awesome.
But then about 6 years ago, I was at another show in Tampa, and Trivium was headlining the second stage of a show. And I guess, I'm not sure exactly what had happened, but either the other bands went too long or something. They went too long, but they ended up getting their mics and everything cut because the main stage was getting ready to go on again.
Yeah.
But Matt said,
Messed up.
yeah, they were right in the middle of one of their biggest songs too. And Matt said, fuck this. And he just started screaming. Everyone just started singing with me. And everyone did. Nobody left. They did not go inside to the second stage, the main stage, or anything like that. They sang along with him. And when he was done, then they all went inside. But it was fantastic.
That's awesome.
But,
you remember that stuff, you know?
You do. You
Sometimes
really do.
The weird, quirky things that happen in a set stick out more than like who you were playing with that show or like how big the show was, you know?
Exactly. You know, and that was a weird show because it was that show in particular, they had an outside show, second stage, and then they had the main show inside the arena in Tampa as the main stage. And the outside show had like 12 bands on it, but I can literally only remember 3.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember, obviously, Trivium. And then I remember Fozzy, because everyone loves Chris Jericho. And then, Nothing More. Because, that was the first time I ever saw Nothing More, and I didn't even know who the hell they were the first time I ever saw them. But
I'm not familiar with them.
You're not too familiar with Nothing More? That's another band you should check out, man.
I always tell people there's only so many bands I can check out. Eventually I'm going to, Nothing More. And the other one was, hold on, I have it on.
Knocked Loose.
Knocked Loose. It's in my browser.
See, for me, I am a lover of all rock. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
The amount of knowledge that I have in my head is just ridiculous. Pisses me off that I know so much sometimes. Because it's like I can never, I'll be, chatting about a personal subject, and then like, I'll compare it to a situation that I'm talking to a guest about. And it's like, oh, I'm not too familiar with it. Like, well, fuck, God damn it, let me find another situation. Okay, okay, this, and then this. And then
I think not knowing a band or a band name is acceptable because
absolutely, yes.
But it's definitely yeah.
I mean, today's day and age, there's so much music out there, So you've got to find something that clicks with you in order to enjoy that. Like for me with Nothing More, like I said, it was just a, the way they presented themselves on stage, they get quirky, they come up with these weird instruments and, build these huge giant rigs for no fucking reason other than just for stage presence, but then like, Ice Nine Kills, with the whole horror genre and everything like they do there. Just these little things here and there that really kind of, hit me, or like a song about mental health, you know, because I'm a big advocate for mental health because I suffer from bipolar disorder, you know, so like they had a song about, you know, mental health and drug addiction, Nothing More did. So that's what really drew me into them. You know, last year, Falling in Reverse came out with one of their most popular songs ever, called a song called Popular Monster, strictly, you know, specifically about mental health. And, you know, the lead singer, Ronnie Radke's issues with mental health. They've been around for a long time, but I've never been a fan of you know, Falling in Reverse, because they were just never my style of music that I liked. But that song came out, I got hooked on them, and now it's like, shit, okay, they're great. I just, you know, if anyone knows anything about Falling in Reverse and Ronnie Radke, he's a fucking prick, but he makes good music. You know, or, you know, the band Bad Flower, another one, again, another mental health song that came out, maybe grip them in, and now I just love that band. And, you know, there's certain things about, you know, different bands that, you know, pull you in, whether it's a sound.
It takes a little bit to get into them, you know?
It really does. You know, you can like one song, but like nothing else by them at all. But then at the same time, they start to grow on you, or you just kind of fall out with them, or whatever the case might be. And that's what I love about rock, is that there's 152 million different subgenres of rock. Yeah. Everything from emo-core to metalcore to deathcore to death metal to this to punk, pop punk, you know, it's just ridiculous. And there's something for everybody in this genre, as rock as a whole. And what you don't like in one subgenre, you might like in another subgenre. You know, there's so much eclecticness. You know?
I always say good music is good music, you know?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Like, obviously, I feel like at some point, a lot of people get hung up on genres, or, you know, when they're younger or whatever. But it doesn't, if it's good, it's good. When it's made legitimately, and with honesty and integrity, you can tell. And I think a lot of the best bands are able to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Regardless of genre.
Exactly. You know, I'm not one that really, you know, cares about, you know, the difference between, you know, metalcore and heavy metal, or, you know, what is it? I don't care. I mean, what's the difference between adding core and metal? It doesn't, what the hell? But anyway,
genres are pretty weird.
But I don't care about all that. Some bands do, some fans do. But again, good music is good music, you know, and that's why I love everything from A7X to Volbeat to Metallica to Paramore. You know, I don't care. You know,
don't sleep on Paramore.
Don't know. Haley Williams, man, she's got a voice.
That's one of my
fucking.
I don't want to say guilty pleasure bands, but
no, it's a guilty pleasure band. Don't. It's mine. I will admit it.
How overproduced the records are. You know, they just sound so big.
Yeah, they are now, but like their first album.
I don't want to say Riot is, but like that, I should say big drum sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the big drum sound was intentional. I watched a documentary on them, and he actually came from a metal band or some other types of band, and he actually has a problem to where he hits the drums so hard they actually have to have backup snares and backup toms for him, because he has a habit of actually snapping shit. So like that big drum sound is like,
you got a good drummer.
Wholeheartedly him. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Paramore is definitely a guilty pleasure band. I will not deny that at all.
They're good. It's good. It's good. They took me a while to get into. But once I did, it was just like, it's good stuff, you know. It's I don't think anyone should be shamed for like listening to what they like.
Oh, hell no.
Like I listen to everything from like Sam Cooke to, you know, to Paramore.
Yeah.
And it's just good music. It's good music.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of Ed Sheeran as well.
Hey, good songs. He writes good songs.
Yeah.
You know?
Now the only band that any male person, you know, should ever be ashamed of listening to is Nickelback.
Nickelback. I never listened to them.
See, then you're fine. Just don't listen to Nickelback ever. that is the one. Please, yeah, that is the one band for some reason everybody in America loves to shit on, but they do a great job with soccer moms.
I've heard a lot of bad stuff about Trapped too. I haven't heard
Oh,
too many good things.
there's some things going on with Trapped. I'm not
I
even.
know the one song. They have that one song. It's not coming to mind. But I know they have the one.
Headstrong.
Is it
Yeah.
Headstrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
But what's got them back in the public eye is the lead singer for some reason this year took over the Twitter feed and went hardcore red, Trump, rights and not giving a fuck about what anybody thought, and people lost their fucking minds.
Even on your personal account, like
yeah, he took it over from management and the label and said, "I'm doing this," and just went complete. Oh, dude, no way, dude. He went too fucking far.
Yeah, that's no good for anyone when I feel like your band account's your band account, and even if you have those, I'm not too familiar with his views. Even if you're a dick, be a dick on your own account. But I think that's another reason that makes it so bad is he's doing it from this huge platform, and just
the only reason I know about it because I don't follow him. I haven't been a fan. I mean I saw him in concert one time. I think they opened up for somebody. I can't remember what it was, but it was a long fucking time ago. But there's a YouTuber that I follow. He's a metal guy. His name is Jared Dines. And everyone knows Jared. So he had a Twitter beef with him, and people had a video about it, and I was like, okay, cool. So Trap's a dick. Okay, no problem. I had no other. If it wasn't for Jared, I wouldn't have known anything about it. But I mean, Trap's another one. Fucking God.
But I mean, apart from them, there's no. I mean, I will say, my one somewhat shameful guilty pleasure band, but they're good. My Chemical Romance. I don't know how you feel about them, and it took a while to get in it. I had to listen to that Black Parade record maybe about I want to say 20 times. And I was listening to it before and I was like, I don't like this. And then by the 20th time, I was starting to the more you listen to records, sometimes you develop a different appreciation for them.
Correct. So like we talked about when we first got on the air here, that whole pop punk stuff that started in the late 90s, early 2000s with Good Charlotte, Newfound Glory, and stuff like that.
Thursday a part of that as well?
Huh?
Thursday? Were they part of that?
Yeah.
I think that's from my Jersey.
But then so was My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
However, when they came out with Black Parade, they kind of shunned that whole pop punk scene and kind of had a different sound to it.
I'm not. Well, I mean, that record was. I think that was. I mean, they were. The second two, I think, were or after the first one was on Reprise, which is Warner Bros.
Yeah.
And that record was mixed by the same dude who did the American Idiot record. I'm gonna text you.
No, I can hear you now. You're back.
Oh, okay.
You're back. I don't know what happened, but you're back.
It says my internet connection is unstable.
What's that?
We're having a bit of a storm here. My bad.
Fine. No, you're good.
But what's awesome is because I kind of got into them. We ended up working with the dude who mixed their first record for mastering.
Okay.
John Niclario. Because I really liked. There was just this this quality to the entire mix and the snare and the kick that I really liked where the presence was on it. And our mix engineer that we went with, I noticed tends towards, I don't want to say darker mixes, but doesn't seem to put as much high end. And the two of them coming together really made it. Is it cool if I plug the record?
Go ahead.
I got it right here.
Plug it.
It's on vinyl.
That's what we're here for.
It's available on State Line Records or getpunk.com. And look at this. You ready for this? Look at it.
That's badass.
I'm pretty happy with it. I think we're gonna need to do a second pressing too, which is awesome.
you know, when I first got the press release, you know, and I saw the cover art for it, you know, that's something that's been lost a lot, you know, in, you know, recent years, is cover art for albums because of the fact of, you know, it's all digital nowadays. You know, luckily for some grateful reason, you know, vinyl's starting to make a comeback. I mean, there's a fucking
CDs.
there's a vinyl section now in Walmart, for crying out loud. I saw it the other day. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just such an experience when you have it, when the art is that big. And maybe it's selfish, maybe it's not, but like I tried to make a record that I think I would enjoy.
Yeah.
Or that other people would. When you get the record, read the lyrics sheet, and I hired the same dude to do the front and the back. He's our friend. His name's Blair. He does like comic book art. And when he pitched the idea, I was like, awesome. It's actually like, I don't want to say spoof, but it's based on one of the like the Batman and Joker comic covers, where like Joker's got Batman on a card. Over,
yeah,
like,
I thought it looked kind of similar. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, inspired by. And he pitched these two great cover ideas, and I was like, let's use them both. And so I put it on the back, and it really, I think, ties it together, which is cool.
Yeah.
'Cause you got like, you got the band members falling on cards in the back into a pool of blood.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if anybody wants a promo code, this fell out. Or if you want that later in post to download the record.
I got the free link.
Oh, forgot about that. Oh, well, yeah.
That's what I love about being in the media. I get free shit.
That's one of the many perks, you know.
One of the many perks. Because I gotta listen to it to be able to talk to you about it.
That's fair. I totally forgot I sent that out. I was like, what do you mean he got it for free? I saw the record was already like pirated and on a site, and I was like, awesome.
Was it?
It was some like free download, and I was like, nice. I'm okay with it getting stolen.
Yeah, no.
It's not like Spotify is gonna give me any money, you know.
Yeah. You know, listen to it here. You know, this is for review purposes only.
I mean, if anyone's watching it, don't steal it. You got to buy it.
No.
Yeah, no.
But it's a great album.
Dude, thank you. Thank you. Like, we worked really hard on it, and I hope it shows, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know you had it on vinyl. I'm gonna go buy it right now.
It's getpunk.com. I think they have like 7 copies left though. The rest are on Rev, which is like the distro.
I'll have to I'll have to jump on.
We got CD too, if you're not looking to spend too much.
See, I like the record though. I like vinyl. The first time I ever bought a vinyl was a couple years ago. Are you familiar with the band Coheed and Cambria?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a huge fan of them as well. I bought 2 of their albums on vinyl, and I was hooked. And then I don't buy them as often, but I did buy all of Coheed's, you know, stuff on vinyl, because I mean,
it's so cool, especially
so
when it's colored and like or translucent or clear. But I think a large part of the appeal is just how much of an experience it is, how big it is too.
Yeah.
When the art's done right.
Yeah, and with the one thing I like about Coheed stuff, as far as vinyl goes and albums go in general, is that everything, because I don't know if you know much about the band, but they also have a comic book line that ties in with all of their records.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, every single, well, with the exception of 2 of their albums, all of their albums are concept albums, and their concept album ties in with the story of the comic book that it's tied to. So if you listen
Which one is released first?
Huh?
Which one do they usually release first? I'm not too familiar with it.
The album.
Okay.
And then the comic book comes out after.
That's really cool. So you kind of got to figure it out yourself, and then...
Yeah, but the thing about it is, like, the album, again, since it's telling a story, like, you can list, like, obviously have favorite songs off of the album. But again, you know, if you listen to it in order, it gives it a different feel. And there's a couple songs that you might not like. You might go, you know, it's like okay song. But the thing about it is, you've got to listen to the whole album to get that whole entire feel of it. And then
I think listening to albums all the way through is important.
Very
period.
important. Yeah. But when you have a comic book to go along to read with it, it's even better.
Yeah. That's such a great idea.
Oh, well, they do that. Coheed and Cambry does that, and then there's another band who I had on the show last week, a band called September Morning. Lead singer's a female. Her name is Emily, and she's a badass. Like they again have all of their albums go in accordance with the comic books that they write, and it so fucking good, so good. I mean, it just flows. So I mean, that whole idea is amazing to me. Now the difference between them and Coheed is that the comic book characters they write in a comic book, that's where they stay. And other than the music itself, they don't play these characters on stage. They don't, do anything like that. Now, September Morning does. They play the characters on stage. So while they dress up in the same type of clothes and makeup, and so you can
kind of bring that world to
correct. It's a whole other vibe, and it's so amazing. I had such a good conversation with her last week. She was badass too. But I mean, this again, that's what I love about music. It's so immersive. You find a band and you research them, and then you find out more about them, and what does this song mean? What does this song mean? But I don't care what they think it means. It means this to me, and or this, and it's just so immersive. And I'm so glad to see people like you who are young and still and trying to carve out their niche in this fucking ruthless, wolf-driven, market of, music. But, dude, never lose that passion, you have for music. Because,
thank you.
I mean, I've been obsessed with music since 1986. When I was 5 years old or whatever age I was, when I first saw the Michael Jackson Thriller video. And to watch that guy who was an artist. He was not a musician. He was an artist. And to watch that music video and see what he did, and then find out about this other dude who wears flashy purple suits with ruffles on his collar and sexy.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
I'm talking about Prince. So I went from Michael Jackson to Prince. I'm like, who's this dude with ruffles looking like a fucking pirate having this sexy chick, dance around him that can play a guitar like he's like a god, And then I went from Michael Jackson to Prince to Metallica. It was a very weird transition, but ever since I saw, like I said, that it was that Michael Jackson Thriller video that just set off this passion and love, and I drive to find new artists and just enjoy music. And that's one of the greatest things I love about what I do now is I get to talk to these guys that have this heart, this drive, that don't have, again, the billion-dollar labels behind them, that are just doing it from their own pocket, their own crowdfunding, or, raising money from their fans to give them what they want. It's people like you that are driving this business in a way that it needs to happen. So my hat off to, or my beanie off to you.
Dude, my hat off to you, dude. Like, thank you for having me on. I appreciate that. Like, that means a lot.
Dude, it's my pleasure. Again, my shout out to Mike at Earshot. Ever since I got hooked up with him, he's given me great fucking bands, and I got even more bands coming up, and I enjoy talking to the major label acts. Don't get me wrong, I've talked to a bunch of them on the show too, but over the last month that I've been doing nothing but indie people, I mean, to see that passion and that drive in these guys' eyes like yours, it's reviving my passion. It's never lost. It's never wilted, but I'm starting to feel a new resurgence of that passion again because of people like you. So thank you.
Dude, I appreciate you having me on. Dude, best of luck in the future. Are we gonna wrap up or no?
Yeah.
Do you want to keep...
I mean, we can.
I gotta pee, and I think my ass is going numb.
Yeah, I'm at 2 hours and 10.
Here.
I'm at 2 hours and 10 minutes now, so my podcast listeners might get pissed off.
Well, we can wrap it up for them.
Yeah,
Get
I
the,
mean,
the
dude,
Manscaped code.
I did that, before I played your music video.
Oh, I was watching. Do it again.
Manscaped.com. Promo code Suck It Podcast.
Where am I on the thing?
Huh?
Because I'm up here on Zoom. I can't point down at it. Where should I point up? Where is it?
It's on your left.
There?
No, right. Go right. There you go. Yeah, there he goes. So manscaped.com, promo code Suck It Podcast, 20% off your entire order plus free shipping. Also, betterhelp.com/SIPod for 10% off your first
Become
month.
a twink.
Huh?
I said you got to become a twink like me. I think that was my favorite comment. If you go onto the Are You Ghost music video, it was somebody was like fucking fake like Twinkie punks, fake casualties, and I was like, awesome. Glad we got another fan.
Yeah. But you know what? From an old metalhead like me, I give you guys nothing but props. The first that first chord, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be good. And then you started ripping up with your fucking vocals, and I was like, oh, okay, good. So you've got my endorsement. So, and again, please stay in touch and let me know what we're gonna do with the charity event. Again, that's December 11th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's gonna go for at least 4 hours, possibly more. All depends on how much money we raise for Toys for Tots and how long how many acts and bands I get. I mean, if I get 6 hours with the bands, we're going to go 6 hours. If I get 10 hours with the bands and comedians, we're going to go 10 hours. I don't give a shit.
Count me in, or the rest of the band. I'll have to hit them up and ask them.
Yeah,
but
let me know.
In one fashion or the other, we can do it. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to kind of nail everything down by the end of this week so I can start. I've already started promoting it, but I want to start promoting who's going to be there so I can get more interest into it. So, yeah. So, dude, again, Oscar, you're a badass. Good luck with everything. I can't wait to talk to you again. Can't wait to see what you give me for the concert. And good luck with the new album, brother.
Dude, peace out. Thank you.
No problem. You have a good one now.
Stay safe.
Thanks, man. All right, guys. So that is it. Thank you very much for being here on this Tuesday. Take it easy. Don't go home. Don't do anything stupid. Don't hit your wife. Don't beat your kids unless they piss you off. I'm kidding. Don't do that shit. Anyway, come back tomorrow for another fun-filled, action-packed Suck It podcast with another band. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You can look on Instagram for that. Follow me down there at Suck It Podcast on Instagram. But again, until tomorrow, stay happy, stay healthy, and as always,